ABC7 Extra.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ABC7 Extra. I'm Mark Ross. On Tuesday, City of El Paso leaders announced a plan that would turn the former site of Cohen Stadium in Northeast El Paso into an $80 million amphitheater with seating for 12,500 people. The Sunset Amphitheater, as it will be called, is expected to bring the long-dormant Cohen Entertainment District Master Plan back to life. So, how did the deal come together? How is the project being done without taxpayer dollars? What makes El Paso an attractive location for an amphitheater, and what kind of acts would we see there? And what is the estimated economic impact for the city? Those are some of the questions we'll be asking our guests. J.W. Roth, founder, chairman, and CEO of Notes Live. That's the company behind the Sunset Amphitheater. And El Paso Mayor Oscar Leeser, who will be joining us in a few minutes. Mr. Roth, let me start by asking you, why El Paso? What was it about our community that made you decide to build an amphitheater here?
Well, first, Mark, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. El Paso has been on our hit list for the last 3 years. It's been on the top of our list. It fits what we're doing for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, it fits our routing. So, we're going to route off of our newest amphitheater that opens here in a handful of weeks here in Colorado, and it'll route through Kansas City, Tulsa, where we're currently under construction, Oklahoma City, McKinney, and the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and then on to El Paso. So it's an important part of our strategic plan to route shows. So there's number one. Number two, from a demographic standpoint, it's an underserved market. We view this market as sort of twofold: one on the north side of the border and one on the south side of the border. The Latin market for Latin music is exploding in the U.S. And I have found that market has been attractive for that reason. We have also never, as a company, chased the fan or provided for the fan outside of the United States. This will be our first time to do that. So it fit that piece. And then the third piece is that, the leadership in El Paso proved to be great to work with. They had the same vision that we had for that property and for this project. Couldn't have been easier to work with. They remind us of a lot of the other municipalities that we work in, and so just everything came together for this project to be there. So routing, demographics, and municipality leadership.
And you mentioned the new amphitheater that will be built in Northeast El Paso is not the only project that Notes Live has in the works. Talk more about, let's talk primarily about the facility that you have going up in McKinney, which is north of Dallas. We're going to show a picture of the Sunset Amphitheater that you're building there. How does that facility in McKinney compare to the one that you'll be building in El Paso?
So let me kind of give you the route of our facilities. So we have 9,000 seater here we have facilities in Colorado and Atlanta, northern Atlanta market of Gainesville now. The one that we're just getting ready to open here in Colorado is a 9,000 seat or route off of Red Rocks. And then Tulsa and Oklahoma City are both 12,500 seaters. And then McKinney is a 20,000 plus seat amphitheater, with El Paso being 12,500. So at the end of the day, we build them to route. So McKinney will be a feeder for the El Paso amphitheater. And the reason that we're building it the size that we are is it will allow us to send shows to El Paso that will fit that market. Anywhere from 9,000 to 12,500. Those will be the size shows that you see coming through El Paso. And then you're going to see some bigger shows coming through El Paso, shows that come out of McKinney that come to El Paso on back-to-back nights. For example, in Colorado Springs, we have a 21,000 seat show coming in early August. That's One Republic, or they'll be back-to-back for 3 straight nights. You'll see programming like that coming to El Paso as well. So think of El Paso sort of as 8,500 to 9,000 on the smaller end shows. And then up to 25,000 on the back-to-back larger night shows, larger weekend shows.
So who are you working with? I think, do you have an agreement with AEG Live to put these shows on for you?
Well, we have partnerships with AEG and Live Nation in our other markets. AEG is our partner here in Colorado, and Live Nation is our partner in Tulsa in the Broken Arrow market. We have not selected a partner yet for El Paso. We're working on that as we speak. There's a lot of folks that have their hat in that ring, and so we're working through that right now. I can tell you that AEG and Live Nation have been awesome partners in the other markets that we're in, and they've become good friends. So those partnerships are solid and they're good. So we'll see. We're working on El Paso as we speak. Probably have an announcement on that in the next year.
All right, and we will continue our discussion on El Paso's new amphitheater when we return. You're watching ABC 7 Extra.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers different drive modes. What about Weekend Warrior mode? Or you don't see that every day mode? How about out of the office mode? Or even,
are you out of your mind?
Mode. Want a mode for everything? Just announce, sign and drive. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Terrain SLE for around $379 per month with zero due at signing.
See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
Watch Smart Money Thursday on ABC 7 at 4 with Myro Capital Management. You'll learn how to save money the right way and make better decisions to set you and your family up for financial success. Smart Money Thursday on ABC 7 at 4, sponsored by Myro Capital Management.
See why hand battered is better with the $6 chicken basket. Our 100% white meat chicken is always just a batter dip away from becoming its own golden treasure. Batter up. Make our app your first mate and order ahead to skip the wait. Long John Silver's Fish Share.
The 2024 Subaru Ascent. The family-sized Subaru with 3 rows and space for up to 8 passengers. Find adventure with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 260 horsepower. And the Ascent has the lowest 5-year cost to own in its class for 3 years running. The 3-row 2024 Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Subaru Ascent. Going on now.
Welcome back to ABC 7 Extra. We are discussing El Paso's newest entertainment venue, the Sunset Amphitheater, which will be built on the site of the old Cohen Stadium in Northeast El Paso. Our guests are J.W. Roth, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Notes Live. That's the company behind the amphitheater. And we'll have El Paso Mayor Oscar Leeser joining us. Mr. Roth, with your goal to have the Sunset Amphitheater to be what you term a world-class venue, you know, here in El Paso, we have the Sun Bowl and the Don Haskins Center, both at UTEP, the County Coliseum, and the Abraham Chavez Theater and the Plaza Theater downtown. How can Notes Live compete with those other venues when it comes to bringing musical acts here?
Well, first and foremost, we're a company that, we look at other theaters and other venues as strategic partners in a lot of the things that we do, and we're never coming into a market to necessarily compete with another venue. Our venues are specific; they're specific to music, and they're focused on music. A lot of other venues focus on sports, they focus on theater, they focus on a lot of other things other than just music. Everything that we do is music. We are state of the art in our construction. We're state of the art in our build. When we roll into that market, we'll roll in there with 130 fire pit suites, an owners club that is specific to watching live music. What we build is over the top. When Billboard listed us as the concept of the year a couple of years ago, and this year I got a really good feeling we're going to win it all. And here in a few weeks we're going to open up the most luxurious amphitheater ever built in history in Colorado. So in Colorado, you have other venues, whether it's the World Arena, whether it's the Pikes Peak Center, whether it's the Mile High Stadium, or whatever it happens to be. And they're all great venues for what they do. But what we do is we build over-the-top premium venues specifically for music. So when we roll into El Paso and we open this up for the 26 tour season, you're going to see a venue that is focused and that it's premium as it relates to music.
Now, El Paso has long fought the stigma of being what promoters consider a second-tier market for many bands and performers. Have you done research about the area and the ability to produce a consistent audience?
We have, and it's interesting that you asked that question. You know, when we first started looking at El Paso, we sort of viewed it the same way you just described it, until we started broadening out from El Paso into the larger potential market, both on the north side and the south side of the border. So as you do that, you realize that market is, one, it's larger than what you think. It is also focused more than what you would think. For example, Latin music. And so at the end of the day, we made the decision that this would be a 12,500 seat amphitheater. It was gonna, when we originally put it on our hit list, it was listed at 8,500 seats, and we expanded from that as we got more comfortable with the overall demographic and the overall size of the market.
How many shows do you expect to book in a year?
We will route 40 shows through that amphitheater. Well, there will be more than that, but routed shows that are routed, that would be national A-list artists, there'll be 40. But there'll be other opportunities for other events in the amphitheater. For example, here in Colorado, we have several churches that have booked out our venues for, you know, sunrise services on Easter and graduations from big universities and colleges and even some high schools that are large here in Colorado Springs. So you'll see some events that are community related, that are sort of non-music but fit the venue.
Now, what prices would tickets be on average? I know that has a lot to do with the concert promoter, but what do you think ballpark people would have to pay for a ticket to go see a show at this amphitheater?
Well, it sort of depends on where they want to sit and what show they're going to go see. But I can give you an example. Tickets went on sale here in Colorado Springs for the big amphitheater that we built here for this summer. And you see tickets, depending on the show, range from $40 in the lawn down to $350 on the front row in a premium suite. So, you know, they're just kind of all over the place. I can tell you this, what we're going to build in El Paso is going to be over the top. It's going to be part of our 10 amphitheater premium collection. So, you know, it'll be world class in every regard. And so whether you're sitting in the lawn with a $40 ticket or you're sitting on the front row in a $350 seat, you're gonna realize an enhanced experience and ambiance. You know, our lawns all include hydro chill technology, which brings the lawn down to about 70 degrees. We use hydro chill underneath our lawns, so it makes it extremely comfortable. So I don't care if it's 120 degrees outside, you're going to sit on a nice, comfortable lawn. We're also going to cover this venue and move the air. We have an air removal system that will move underneath the roof, bringing the temperature down to comfortably in the 80s. And so at the end of the day, you will have an elevated experience as a fan, whether you've got a $40 ticket in the lawn or a $350 ticket sitting in a suite. You're going to have an elevated experience.
Now, JW, we reached out to ABC7 viewers to get their thoughts about the amphitheater, and of course a lot of people responded positively, but some did raise concerns, and I want to share one of them with you. One of a gentleman who responded on our ABC7 Facebook page asked, where's the money coming from? Can you, in the simplest terms, talk about the financial model for the amphitheater? Is it the same model you're using for your other venues?
Yes. So we do not ask the taxpayer to write a check. I write the checks. And so, you know, we're going to spend corporately, we'll spend $1 billion over the course of the next 48 months building our amphitheaters. Our amphitheaters are sort of financed in a handful of ways. The only thing that really the municipality participates in would be incentives that would include real estate. But in terms of money to build the amphitheater, it comes from our sale of suites, it comes from our investors, and it comes from it comes off of our balance sheet.
And for maintaining the amphitheater between shows to keep it a world-class venue, who pays for that?
So what we do is we set up an escrow account, and every show that we do, we set aside a portion of the tickets to maintain our facilities. Our facilities, I would encourage anybody that would be interested in visiting our facilities to visit them, because they're the cleanest, most efficient music venues in the world. When we build a venue, we build it right. We build it over the top. We maintain it to that status. Now, you might pay 50 cents to 75 cents more to see a show inside one of our venues than you would at a dilapidated venue somewhere else. But I can assure you that the venues that we build, we maintain to the highest standards, and we use our ticketing systems to pay for it.
J.W. Roth, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Notes Live, who will be building the Sunset Amphitheater here in El Paso. Thank you for being on ABC 7 Extra. I know you have another meeting you have to attend to, so we appreciate your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and Mayor, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you, sir. Thank you.
And we will be talking with Mayor Oscar Leeser when ABC 7 Extra returns.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or Texas residents get 1.9% APR for 72 months on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $9,200 in average finance savings.
See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
Give you gear? Yep. I got it with all the money I saved with Navy Federal Credit Union. They really take care of me. Can't imagine where I'd be without them.
Proud to share our support of the military with the NHL.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Game on.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Spring into savings today at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso. With new Konas, lease for only $164 a month. And new Elantras, lease for a fresh $199. That's two different Hyundais priced under $200 per month. And the spring savings vibe is strong with the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. All new design, all new tech, tons of safety and more. Lease today for $369 a month. Spring into savings at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso today.
Welcome back to ABC 7 Extra. We're talking about the Sunset Amphitheater, the new facility that will be built in Northeast El Paso. We already spoke with J.W. Roth, the head of Notes Live, who will be building that facility here. And we bring in now El Paso Mayor Oscar Leeser to give us some more insight and perspective on this project. Mayor Leeser, thank you for coming on. How long has the city of El Paso been working to bring Notes Live here?
You know, we've been working with them for, since sometime late last year, but the project really did not get finalized till council took action in just the other day on Tuesday. So it's something that we've been working with, and we want to make sure when we bring it forward, we brought it forward properly and make sure that the proper impact to our community was there. So we've been working with them. I know that economic development's done an incredible job to really look at how we could bring it together and be a private-public partnership. And, the private sector is so important when we talk about this. I know you talked to Mr. Roth about where the money's coming from. That's where the private sector comes in, and that's really important where that money's coming from.
Now, with this amphitheater being built, what does that do to the plans for the multi-purpose center downtown?
I think that's something totally different. It's two different venues and two different things that we're looking at. And City Council will have some things they need to determine and then take action on. So in the very near future, we'll bring that up at a council meeting to see what we will do and how we'll move forward. But one had nothing to do with the other, but this is something that's really, really exciting. 12,500 seats, a $5.4 billion impact to the community, and that's a game changer for El Paso.
Now, we talked a little, or actually we showed a picture of going back to 2018 when it was Mayor DeMargo and City Council approving this Cohen Entertainment Complex project, which is where now the Sunset Amphitheater will be built. Talk a little bit about the project itself, going back to 2018. You know, you've got the Sunset Amphitheater. How does it fit the plan for the district? And now there are parts of the original plan that are still in play?
Well, but when you look at 2018, where you do a master plan and it becomes a wish list of how you would like to see it develop. And you're hoping that you will be able to get quality companies like the amphitheater. And so these are some things that you look at and said, if we could do it, how would we do it? And what do we want? So this was something that council voted on in 2018. And then now we have to come in and this year and execute. Like I said, it becomes a plan and then a wish list. And how do you do it? And we did it by bringing an anchor like the Sunset Amphitheater to El Paso, something that's going to really make a big difference in not only Northeast Cohen Stadium, but the whole city of El Paso. And if you see, it's going to create over 2,000 jobs. And that's not just them. That's, you go back to the master plan and now people, you know, excitement breeds excitement. Now people are going to go and they want to build around there. And, you know, the hotel nights, the businesses, the restaurants, just so many things happen by being able to do something. So you build up a master plan and then now you have to execute it. And this council did an incredible job of being able to execute that.
And of course, you already have the city water park that is on that particular stretch of land.
Yeah, so that was part of the master plan. And how do you, how do you complement it? So we complemented it by bringing an amphitheater, something that, like I said, it's incredible for the Northeast side. And like, you know, I've talked to a lot of people and they're so thankful. But I told them, I said, when I took office, I really committed to make sure that we developed every part of the city, every part of El Paso, because we know that 100% of the people are asked to pay taxes. So let's represent them all and make sure that we develop every part. And this is part of that.
Now, did the city specifically say we want this amphitheater in Northeast El Paso?
Well, we gave them the options and we gave them the things that we had available, and then we showed them the master plan. And that was something that was really important. So we wanted something of that magnitude to be able to go in there. As I said, you look at the master plan in 2018, now you look at how do we move it forward and what can we bring to the area that's going to complement the master plan that we developed. And you see that, and, you know, J.W. Roth and his company has been an incredible partner to be able to move that forward.
Can you tell us what it took to get Notes Live to put their stamp down and say, okay, we'll build an amphitheater in El Paso?
Well, you have to earn their trust. You got to earn their business, and then they have to look at something that you just can't say, we want you to go here and you go here. It has to be very, you know, profitable for them and profitable for the city. So they look at, and we give them all our economic impacts, and we give them everything that how they're going to be successful. Because the last thing we ever want is to bring someone in El Paso and not become successful. So we have to work forward, and we have to give them all that data that's going to show them that how they're going to be successful. They're a very mature company that understands what they need, and we were able to help them with what they need and how they would be able to bring all that forward. So it's important. We just don't say, hey, we want you here and this is where you want to be. How are you going to be successful? How can we have a private-public partnership that's good, not only for you, but also good for the city?
Mayor Oscar Leeser, thank you so much for coming on ABC 7 Extra. I appreciate your time as always.
Hey, thank you, sir.
And our thanks also to J.W. Roth, the CEO of Notes Live, for being on the program this week. That's ABC 7 Extra. I'm Mark Ross. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you next Sunday.